You're still watching The Marketplace with me, Charles Aite. Now to our major story. Research by Ghana COCOBOD has shown that several cocoa farms in the Western Ashanti and Eastern regions have been lost to illegal mining activities. Now, the research found that out of the over 20,000 acre cocoa farms in the selected regions, more than 19,000 acres have been devastated by galamsey. This means that about 80% of the selected cocoa farms were destroyed between 2019 and 2020. Fifi Boafo is head of public affairs at COCOBOD and joins us for more. Fifi, grateful that you could join us. What more are we learning from this research conducted by COCOBOD?
Well, apart from the sample size, it's an indication that there are more farms that have been devastated by the activities of these illegal miners. And apart from these existing farms, some of the farms which we are rehabilitating at present is also suffering from the activities of these illegal miners. In some cases, it's not just the illegal miners, but also some small-scale miners, and in some instances, some big mining companies have been given the permission by the Minerals Commission to actually mine at sites where we have cocoa farms. So the threats mining poses to cocoa farming and the cocoa industry generally in Ghana is one that requires an urgent attention from all stakeholders.
But how and why has this illegality degenerated so fast? Was there a failure in supervision or regulation? Well,
it is difficult to pinpoint what has accounted for this problem. But of course, it's one because of the fact that people think that, well, okay, so let's start from here. It's an illegal act. So you have very little control as to deterring them from going ahead with the exception of the law dealing with them. Another part of it is that there are some instances where these farms were cocoa swollen shoot disease affected farms. So with just a little incentive to the farmers, they were willing to give it out. In some instances, they actually use force also in taking away these farms from the cocoa farmers and then turning them into a galamsey site. Because some of the farmers resisted and then they used force and they took over these farms. In some instances, we realized that the farmers were resisting they taking over their farms, but then the landowners or the chiefs actually gave go ahead, and then the people who are involved in this illegal activity decided to take over the farms. Let me quickly add that this act did not start 3 years ago. It's been in existence for a while, but it looks like because the people have been emboldened, they feel that, well, they can go ahead and continue to destroy these cocoa farms without taking into consideration the effects that it causes to us as a country.
For stakeholders, Fifi, in the cocoa value chain, this development will definitely have a toll on Ghana's cocoa production, our export margins in that respect, and subsequently our revenue. What can you say about this particular concern?
Obviously, if the farms are being cut off and then the farms are turned into galamsey and mining sites, certainly its effect on productivity is high. And the expectation is that we'll be able to deal with this menace, because failure to do so obviously will destroy what has been a backbone of our economy. So that the threat is there. What it requires is an urgent steps in dealing with the problem.
And speaking of measures, COCOBOD and the Minerals Commission recently had an engagement over this matter, particularly the research that you churned out. What was the outcome of this particular meeting?
Well, there was an admission by the Minerals Commission that the information put out by COCOBOD is correct, and there was the need for us as state institutions, as partners, work together in addressing the issue. One of the things the Minerals Commission indicated at the meeting was that COCOBOD should provide data. Of course, you are aware of the cocoa management system where we are taking geographical locations of all cocoa farms. So we make them available to the Minerals Commission and in giving out licenses to people who go into small-scale mining. Cocoa farms are not given out as places for mining. Also, to engage further the security agencies, the law enforcement agencies, and of course, the judiciary to ensure that people who engage in this illegal activity, when they are presented before the court, punitive measures or sanctions are meted out to them, and then swiftly to discourage people who feel that, well, they have every right to destroy cocoa farms and then nothing really will happen to them. The collaboration, we believe that we'll be able to yield some result, but it requires more than that. One of the suggestions at the meeting was to also engage other institutions like the Forestry Commission, like the Environmental Protection Agencies, and all those who have some, in one way or the other, some activity to do with regards to ensuring that we deal with this threat that looks us in the face.
Indeed, and we're going to see how this goes on, and of course the impact it's going to have on, placing the lid on this particular development. We're grateful for your input. Here's the Head of Public Affairs at COCOBOD. Well, we'll still stay on this matter because Joy Business, as you rightly heard in that interview, is gathering that some cocoa farmers are ditching their farms to illegal miners due to how lucrative the act is. Samuel Tetekobo is a cocoa farmer who will join us shortly, but first, take a listen to the chairperson of the Minerals Commission, Barbara Otinjesi.
Revenue that is generated from mining is such that a lot of our farmers are attracted to it. And even now, information that we are getting is that a lot of the youth who previously used to engage in cocoa mass spraying now are unwilling to do it because they are getting more revenue from illegal mining. We know that for the 13 regions in Ghana, with the exception of about 3 regions, cocoa production is impacted by illegal mining. I think it's only in about OT region, Greater Accra region, and the Volta region that we don't have this occurring. We are also aware that many of the cocoa farmers are selling off their farmland for mining activities. And definitely mining is taking place underground and cocoa production is taking place above ground. So if we are doing a lot of mining in our cocoa growing areas, definitely there is a problem.
Disturbing indeed. We're joined by Samuel Tetekobo. He's a farmer, and of course, he has much knowledge on this development. We're grateful, sir, that you could join us. What's happening with your colleagues on the farmlands? Talk to us about the new development of them selling cocoa farms to illegal miners.
Thank you, and very grateful to our viewers. Cocoa farming is one area that is not only good for the nation, but it's also good for the farmer. And I believe that this illegal mining, the scourge of illegal mining is very rare. And like previous speakers have said, the farmers are losing their livelihood because of the impact of this illegal mining. I would just say that anything illegal is not worth its substance, okay? So if farmers who are only peasant farmers, remember they've traveled from various places to just go and do farming, especially cocoa farming, okay? And so if this cocoa farming and the farms have not become moribund, so that you say that they are no more productive, so that we can then take the land and use it for something else, and we are just cutting them, or we are just taking the land. One, it's affecting the livelihood of the farmer, it's degrading the soil and the land on which we are using it. Remember you said about 80% of the land is now going into illegal mining. If that happens, we can say that COCOBOD is going to be heavily impacted. Why? Because they will not meet their target. Anything that will be done in this station will be drawn back because of this illegal mining. I believe that we should find, the Minerals Commission should find a way, okay, come to the side of these farmers so that not every area of land could be used or could be given out for illegal mining or even for mining, right? Such viable farms could be best scaled off so that we have only lands that are moribund, areas that are no more of use.
Great.
Even there, how long can the land that has been degraded be resourced so that it can be reused again? It takes a whole long time, and this is our concern. Let's help the farmer so that he can also help the nation with these cocoa farms. We have the duty to support COCOBOD to continue to achieve its targets.
The Minerals Commission's chairperson, Barbara Otunjesi, has rightly stated that cocoa farmers are indeed selling their lands to illegal miners because the money, it's much more lucrative having to engage in the illegality than to, plow the land and, cultivate cocoa. Is this really the case? Because, the livelihood of cocoa farmers we know is rightly being taken care of by COCOBOD. Is it that farmers feel they're being shortchanged and that therefore directing their attention to this illegality? What exactly is the matter with the livelihood of farmers, attracting them to this, act of galamsey?
Exactly. Money answers all things. You see? So if I have to wait for a season, cocoa season to come before I can get a few money. Remember, on the value chain itself, the farmer is being cheated. So if I have to wait for all this while before I can make some little money, then galamsey can just continue to give me daily or weekly or monthly income, you can be sure the farmer will just divert his attention to that area. And it's a scourge that we must try to, help. If we don't do it, we will get lost on all our cocoa farms. And it is my concern that we stand up to this and help the farmers. I know now they are trying to do this insurance thing and they are taking measurements of all the land. Let's do the right statistics and see how best farms that are really ready to stand, we will be able to support them and then make sure that they stand. I will find a way to retract the land that have been used by these illegal miners.
Mr. Kobo, you've been to cocoa farming for the past 50 years or so. What is it that cocoa farmers need, from your perspective, urgently, to secure their farms from the scourge of illegal miners?
I think they need to be protected from the influx of the companies or institutions that have big money to come and buy up the lands. Remember, I said most of the farmers are peasant farmers. So the people go to the landowners and buy these things up. So irrespective of you producing your cocoa farm 5 years, 6 years, when you are ready to harvest, the landowner tells you, I've already given the land to this company and it is theirs, I no longer owe it. That is so killing. If we can find a way to regulate that area, we will be able to control this aspect of our menace. Thank you.
Samuel Kobo, as always, grateful that I could join us. He's a cocoa farmer joining us on this matter of illegal mining and its impact on cocoa farmland.